So we have some different levels here. We just filled this gap. We have this gap that actually went back a couple days. We were just looking at that. Let's go higher time frame here. Kind of see what we got. We'll get some people in here in a minute. Zoom out. Yeah, so we got this larger flag. Probably by the end of the day, we should be probably at this level right here. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Let's see. Probably about right here. Right there. Yeah, like right there. I think we'll get to that 126. So this right here is a fake out right there to the downside. So when you're looking at this right here, this was a M pattern. So you have a low, or you go up, basically hit this area. This is just demand. We push down, then we make a lower high on this, which is really starting to form what's called an N. So we took this yesterday, beautiful play to here. It's a nice M pattern right there. So that's something you can actually kind of look at when you're, looking at these plays. But what are we looking at right now? So if I go back in, obviously the trend is up. What you would be looking at for right now, again, I'm done for the day, but just to kind of show you what I'm seeing. So if you wanted to, you could have like this trend here. Obviously this is a bull flag. So if you look at this top right here, we covered that, and that's just showing that there's strength up. So probably going to get to there. Ultimately, we're probably going to get up to this 125 level. That's what I would be looking at. So if you wanted to, you could draw something like this. Again, why am I doing it on those? Just because of the different touches. So right here, you got touch, touch, touch. And this is all in the 5 minute. If you wanted to get more granular, you could go down to the 2 minute. Something else I look at. So we can zoom in here just to kind of understand what we're doing. This is what we got. So if we're going to be weak on this, always looking at both sides, right? We could create another M pattern. So we go up, we move down, we move up right here. If we can get some sort of fake out to move down to this area if we wanted to. So that's on the lower time frame. So just something to kind of look at there. But the overall sentiment right now is up, and you can see right here. Overall sentiment is up. Let's see. Let's see what we got going on. Here. Just kind of watching right now. Yeah, so we just have this bull flag on the day so far. So if we zoom out, I'm going to remove some of this on the charts. Alright, there we go. Alright, I'm actually going to take off all the EMAs. Okay, so there we go. Alright, so there's two options here. From a higher play, we've definitely hit liquidity down here several times, right? Even this morning we did it, and then we bounced off of that for a nice move up. I would imagine this actually going all the way to the top, but if we don't what I would be thinking is, this could become the trend line. It's not going to happen like that, but we could have some sort of like trend line where we go down. Typically, if we don't go to the very top of a flag, we're going to create a lower low here. And I don't really see it right now, but some sort of like M like that, but it doesn't really look that way at the moment. If anything, we're just creating this channel. You can see it here, but this is a really nice play for up. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right. So, the market's all about liquidity. Take all that off. Let's kind of zoom out a little bit more. They had a nice break earlier today. Nice break earlier. Got a couple levels above us. So this area is definitely going to be a major area. If I kind of zoom out, you can see right here, this was support. We have since then become resistance at this level, which is it's kind of a big move, right? So I'd watch this to the push all the way up to the very top. See if we get that. What do we got on the daily, just to kind of see while we're sitting here at this time? All right, so the daily, we're seeing something interesting here, where we've really been kind of we've been moving down to the downside. Let's see if I can fix this to where, yeah. So really kind of a major sort of events here. So I'm looking at this, have a touch here on the daily, a touch here on the daily, right? I would say like here and here are two. Then we push down, and now we're trying to find some an area here that's support. So that's what we're looking at right now. Today we're really showing strength off of this. We've broken some things. I've noticed is that we've broken the previous high, which is a good sign. So we've broken that. So the question is, do we continue up on this play? I'll say that it actually kind of feels like we do. You don't want to tread on feeling, but again, when you've been doing this for thousands of hours on one chart, kind of have a good feeling of what we're going to do, right? Oh man. So that's what we're looking at there. Looks really nice here on the 4 hour. 2 hour looks really good. I would say though on the 2 hour, yeah. So on the 2 hour, probably, and again, the 2 hour, there's 59 minutes left, but we're probably, this candle that we're on the 2 hour here, it's either going to really push hard to the upside to fill some of this body, or I would imagine the other option here is that we actually try to create a body to the downside and maybe create like a bottom wick here to then push up off of that, if that makes sense. Again, seeing these charts for forever, for a long time, right? Kind of seeing like what's going on at the moment. That's what we're seeing. So currently on the 2 hour, we have a beautiful break of this area. This morning, we had a nice break to the upside. You can see we swept liquidity down here at the support level, and then we push up off of that. All right. It's always fun talking to yourself. If people only knew, man. If they only knew. This morning alone made $5,000. If they only knew. This stuff works. You just listen. It's not about cheat codes or the next indicator. It's not. It's about reading price action. You can read this price action, you're in a good spot. All right, let's take all this off. So something else I want to show you. Something else that really is nice right here. So something to be aware of that happens often. If you get a flag, oftentimes you'll get a move down. So you'll move up and down, but you'll get the move down. Okay. So let's just say this right here. You'll get this move down. Then you'll get a bottom. You'll get a move back up, potentially to that trend line. Get one more rejection, but you'll notice that this rejection is actually less. It's actually a higher low than the previous one, right? So that means that we're gaining buyers, right? Understanding this price action is huge. So if you understand this, I feel more confident about taking the break here, right? So now if we break, I'm really thinking this is going to push up. Why? Why do I think it's going to push up? Because one, it's showing structure. So this is a W. Do you see it right here? Up, down, up. This happens all the time, every day in the market. This yellow line is where we're probably going to go to. Called this a while back. So we're just going there. Again, this stuff works. I know I'm new on YouTube, but I'm telling you, if you follow this stuff, you will make money if you understand the price action, the structure, and the levels. If you know those three things, you will do well. So look for us to get to this level here. Now, this is on the 2 hour. So let's kind of zoom out just a little bit more and look at the other levels to see, okay, what are we looking at on the intraday, the smaller time frames. So I'm going to zoom down into the 5 minute here. Now I don't use a lot of indicators, but I do like the moving averages. They just kind of give me some guidance, if you will. I don't really use them I will take trades off of them, but I don't need it to trade is what I'm saying. Yeah, so we're looking good right now to the upside. We're just following this to the upside. Let me zoom out a little bit really quick to look at this. So you can see that up here. So actually where we're at is kind of a good area of liquidity that we're building. You can see it right here, right? So this area, these are the things that you want to look for right here. And that's where we're at on the chart. So it could be a little bit bumpy right here. We could have built enough liquidity down here in this area to really push out of this. You can see that we're just building this flag approach to the upside. And that is what we're doing. But look for that area, I would say. Yeah, so around 125, 126 is where we should get to. So check that out. I see someone else is in here. Welcome. So I'm actually newer to YouTube. Obviously, YouTube's not kind to new people. I got to build my audience, but I've been trading Nasdaq for a while. I play on prop firms. I've been getting consistent payouts, so I'm just going to show kind of what I know. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. Again, understanding the time. So right now we're at 105 Eastern. So being at 105 Eastern, I would expect probably in the next hour or so some sort of move one way or another. Again, I can't just think up, right? It's all up. Can't think that because I will lose if I have that mentality. And I have to understand these candles. So, this candle will close. This is a 15-minute candle. It will close in 9 minutes. So if this candle closes up here, I don't want to get in an entry up here. I actually want to get in, let it come back down a little bit and get in an entry down here. Or even if this 9 moves up a little bit, right? Take it on the 9, like long, to bounce off of that up. So we're really looking for great entries is what we're looking for. Feel free to check out the Discord. If you want to learn more about kind of how this works, it does work, promise you. So let's check this out. So 5 minute has 3 minutes left on it. So let's just watch this candle here. So we could potentially be pushing down to then push off of that to the upside. Like that's kind of what we're looking at right here, right? Right. See what we do here. Been watching these candles. I can't tell you how many candles I've probably watched. Honestly, probably millions of candles at this point. So look, we're probably going to create a bottom tail if we're going to be strong at this area, because this is a good area for support right here. And again, I know this is the 5 minute, but this all scales, right? Like you can do this at any level. So looking at this, here we go back down on the 5 minute 9. If you're looking to go long, this is where you want to go long, right? You don't want to go long up here because odds are it's going to go down. It's just not a good position. And you want to train your mind to do the right thing. What's up, man? How you doing? 2 minutes. Let's see what we got. Sonic, what you trading? Are you on Nasdaq? All right, so we got. All right, so check this out right here, right? So we got this trend here. So am I thinking short or long, right? Now, if I was thinking like just 2 minute, right? I'm thinking, oh man, this is really gonna push down, right? But you can't have that mindset because look, if I zoom to the 9 or the 5 minute, look at so this pink line is the 9 for the 5 minute. So that's really indicating up is what that's telling me. This is going to be support to then push up. Yeah, man, just trying to build this channel, newer, started this year. I'm going to show basically what has worked for me, getting payouts. So I feel like this type of trading that I'm doing really suits a lot of people and their lifestyle. I only have to trade for, let's just say 10 minutes in a day, get my trades, move on with my day. Now there's a lot of round trading. I know a lot of people want to focus just on this technical piece of it, but there's the psychological, there's all the different things. But yeah, I appreciate you checking it out, man. NQ all day. Let's go. Yeah, I would say this is a great place to take a long. Not saying that right now is the time, but look what we're doing. We're on the 9. We're on this trend line. So this is a good place to take that position. Now, I'm actually creating a video right now. I'm working on it from a editing standpoint at the moment. I'll try to probably next week I'll release it. On where do I place my stop? That's actually what it's going to be about. It's like our stop loss is, where does the stop loss go? So in this situation, I would probably place my stop. Let's see, I'm looking at the 2 minute here. Knowing kind of the day. Again, I'm taking M and Q, so I'm not taking NQ. But if we want to take this down, I would say this area here for me. So probably around like 40 would be my stop. I know this can go down a little bit more. But you can't risk too much, right? So if you're taking M and Q and you lose 10 points, I take about 5 M and Q at a time. That's going to be like $100, something like that. If I want to go long at the 5 minute 9 or the 15 minute 9, where's your target? Oh, good question. So Stone, my target actually, man, is like up here. 126. I know that sounds crazy. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's just kind of look at this again. So this trend line right here, I would just be watching this. Ultimately, I'd be watching the 5 minute here. Can we hold this 9 is the question. Can we hold that 9? We are below the previous low, so that's down. All right, let me answer the question. That's a good question, Stone. All right, so let's zoom out to the 30 minute. I know 30 minute, what? But look at this. look at this flag. This is a beautiful play. Beautiful play. So the area that we're gravitating to from a magnet standpoint is right here. This is where we're trying to get to. Now, if we get into this area where we're at now and we stay here for another 30 minutes and create another candle, all right, we're creating a huge top tail here. So just being careful with that. You know, if we stay here, I don't see that happening though. I just don't. This could be a lower high, right? And if I have to zoom out to see it, but you know, is this going to create this like M pattern where we're moving up and then we break back down? That's the only thing I can really see here for the downside, like major downside. So to your question, where would my target be? My target is actually going to be up here, probably in like around 120-ish, something like that is actually where my target is. I know we're at 50, but again, I can't think in terms of points. I have to think in terms of like the structure and what we're seeing. That's kind of what I'm looking at here, right? All right. All right, so just letting this play out for a minute. Let's give it some time. All right. Let's go back down to the 15. Sorry, I was just reading some stuff. So look what we're doing on the 15 right here. We're really creating some tails at the top, some top tails, which indicating doesn't mean weakness, right? Doesn't mean that we're weak, but it does mean that we have to be careful like with this position at the moment. So we could be trying to, you just got to understand what the market's doing here, right? We got to understand that this area is creating some sort of supply for us. So we might have to dip down a little bit to pick up more buyers to then move up. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. It's kind of what we're looking at. What's up, Kyle? All right, so again, just I'm looking at the 2 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 for the most part, right? So looking at these, what you see here, I mean, it's plain as day right here, right? Remove emotion, remove all the things that you're thinking, and just look at what's going on. Wick, 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 wick. Now, you could zoom out to the hour and say, but look, we're so strong. We are strong, but we might be trying to create, come down a little bit before we move up, right? The market's never just going to go straight up. It just doesn't do that. So that's what we can use to our advantage. Now, most people use their emotions for these trades, but if we look at the trades from an aspect of, I know where it's potentially going to go, but I need to get a good entry, I'm going to be more successful, right? That's kind of what we're looking at here. This yellow bar, this yellow line up here is my target. Again, I'm not trading this. I'm just looking at from a pure structure standpoint. Know that this area up here is what's called a supply zone. Supply zone is an area where there are probably going to be some shorts in that area. So we need to be careful with that. Just understanding that from a market perspective. But again, we're still looking up. Okay, so 30 minutes looking a little bit weak at the moment. We have 13, almost 14 minutes left on this candle. So we're watching that. Appreciate you guys jumping on the live stream. YouTube, it takes time to really, I guess, build an audience because it's just crazy because, like, you know, the stuff that I'm showing, and I know a lot of people do the live stream just for entertainment. I'm doing it for teaching. People, you know, they'll pay a lot of money to learn different things. And I'm really just giving away a lot of things that I know because it works. Been at this for a while. Tomorrow I'll be putting a payout in. Yep, Sonic. Yep. So join the Discord. See if I can throw that in the chat. Check it out. I feel like I need to I don't know if I have that on my channel or not. Like on there where you can click on it, See if I copy this. I don't know. Let's see. Let me get one real quick. I'll get a link. Let's see. Copy. Just getting the link really quick. All right. See if I can post this in the chat. All right. See if this works. Record the payout process. Yeah. So let's kind of talk through some story time of how this morning I woke up and $3,000 was taken from me. So I'm using Lucid for trading, and yesterday I had a good day in the morning. Took a trade. I took a couple trades, but long story short, I have 4 accounts. On one of them, I was up like $2,000. One, I was up $1,000, and then the other 2, I was up $1,000. So I just called it a day. And this morning, I wake up and I see that there's no trade on 2 of my accounts from yesterday, and on Lucid, right? And so I'm like, what happened here, right? So I reach out to them, and I noticed that in my spam folder, my email, that there were they said that I was hedging. There was a policy around not hedging positions, which is crazy because I wasn't hedging at all. It's not something I do. So I reached out to them. I'm still kind of working through this. They haven't responded yet, but basically I told them, I was like, look, I can show you exactly what I saw, why I took the trade, and why would I hedge on one account and not the other 3, right? Because essentially, if I'm hedging on 2, that means I'm going long and short, but then the other 2 I was short. So why would I go short on 3, right? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So it was interesting. So I'm still figuring that out, but either way, tomorrow I should have a hefty payout tomorrow. I'll just put it that way. It's actually my biggest payout I've ever got, which, again, this stuff isn't easy. It doesn't just come. If anybody that follows or watches anything that I have, the first thing I'm going to stress is that if you don't really want to learn this stuff, if you're not willing to stick through the days that like your stomach is just empty because you're sick of like how you traded or your emotions got to you, you're not going to make it. And I know some people think that's harsh, but it's really just kind of looking out for your own good. I think there's a lot of stress that I've had in my life over trading, but I'm starting to see the fruits of those labors through what I've learned, right? Looking at the day, understanding that I don't just look at the 2-minute, right? I can't just look at this 2-minute and say, I need to take a short here. Because why? Because if I look at it from the standpoint of a 15-minute, I'm right on the 9. So the question here is, well, then when do I take a trade? Because one, the 2-minute showing me short, the 15-minute showing me to take a long because I'm at the 9 for support and potentially push up off resistance, right? If you look at this, look right here. There's your flag, essentially. This right here, I'm going to show you something. This right here, what you're seeing, is exactly what happened yesterday morning and is playing out today as well. What do I mean by that? So if you look at this, right, where we have this flag, we fake out to the upside, then we push back, right? You see that candle right there? Like most people would just overlook this candle. But to me, this is like everything right here. That candle right there is everything. Like what do I mean by that? So if we look back, because history repeats itself and you probably even already see it. So if I go, let's just say I go up to a higher time frame, right? Look at this. Look at this. It's the same thing right here. There it is. We faked out, right? We had this flag. We faked out. We came down. But then look what we did. We found support right here, right? We have support down here. This area was already drawn. I already knew this area was an area where we could buy up and push back up, okay? So this morning, I was looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, so if we get that support here, there's a good chance that if we can break the VWAP, which is this dotted line, we could really push up. So not to get away from what I was talking about, but look at this. This is exactly what we're doing right now. It looks the same, right? It's on the 15 and not the 4 hour. So the question is, what do you think is going to happen here? Now, I would tell you at the moment, I think we're going to get a push back up. Okay. That's what I think. Does it matter what I think? No, but I have to read. So I have to read what the chart is telling me at the moment. So I know from a higher time frame, right? A higher time frame that we are pushing up to potentially complete this flag at the top. Does that mean it has to? It does not. But I have to find reasons to take along, right? So one is we're at the 9. Can we hold this, right? Another is, and again, we talk about this in the Discord if you're not part of it, is there is a wick right here, right? We need to fill this wick at least 75%. We need to come up to here at least. Okay. Why? It's just how the market works, right? If you've been around the market at any point in time, if you watch and pay attention to candles, they do the same things. So those are two things for long, right? Another reason, right? On the higher time frame, we have this move to this area. Now, do I think that we might have a bumpy road right here? Yes. Why? Because look at this right here. This area right here, like that's telling me a lot. I have to understand where we're at. Okay. I know I'm throwing a lot out there, but I promise if you start to see these things, they make a lot of sense. And this right here doesn't make any sense. So what do you guys, I want to hear from you guys. I get bored just by myself. I get kind of lonely. So what are you guys up to? What are you guys trading? Anything you guys see? And I'm still kind of working through it. I know I'm trying to build my audience on YouTube. I'll probably start going live on Discord as well, just because I want to hear from you guys. I want to, we're not too big yet to where, I have to shut off the voice. I really want to hear people, to be honest. This looks so nice right now for up. Oh, man. It's kind of boring right now. It's kind of boring. Yeah, I mean, on the 5 minute, I do see reasons for us to come down, right? Look, you see this cup? This is a nice cup we could play to this area. That is a potential play. I do see that. You guys see that? All right, see. So at this point, if you're really looking for just, for the longest time, I was looking for 10 points. Now I'm looking for just the true structure plays. What is it showing me? So 15 we're trying to hold. It feels like we're trying to start to break down here. Pay attention to the 30 minute. We have 3 minutes left on this. Yeah. Look at the 30. So the 30 minute is dude, look at this. Look at this. Beautiful, right? Big tail, creating a nice body. I can see this 9 maybe coming up a little bit more. And I can see the next candle push up a little bit, and then we just come down, maybe bounce off of that 30 to then the upside. Because if we're going to get this bigger move, we're going to have some sort of consolidation of liquidity, and that's what we're getting right now, right? So the way that I'm really looking at the market, and it's really revolutionized how I think about it, is understanding. It's like an artist, right? It's a fine line between knowing the 2-minute here, and look what it's showing me. This right here. See it? Bang. Might get there. Let's see if we get there. Yeah, I didn't see that a minute ago, but that's what we're seeing here. So it's a fine line of understanding this. Like if this takes us down to like 2,500 or 25,000, like where does that put me on the 30-minute? 25,000 is going to put me like right here, which probably going to be around, oh, look what that is. It's this zone. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up, right? Like this zone it means something. So this zone is telling me that there is going to be probably some sort of support at that area. So let's see what we get. Oh, man. It'll be nice one day when there's like more people on here and I feel like I'm actually helping someone, not just talking to myself. All right, so 30-minute. This is looking good to the downside. You got a minute and 31. So in the last like little bit of time, typically you get that move down. What do you show to Lucis? Some trade journal. Oh, what I have to show them? So here. I'll show you what I got. Give me a second. Let me pull it up and I will show you exactly what they sent me. So all right, so this is what they sent me right here. So let me see, can I hold on? Let me can I pop this out of the window? Yeah, okay. So this is what they sent me. I'll put it up here. So accounts and stuff, right? But they're saying that we've detected a policy violation and noticed document event saying that I was self-hedging violation on some M&Qs. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And it gives me the time frame right here, right? Tells me at what point, and it says it's for 63 seconds. It says profits on the associated accounts have been removed. Additional actions may occur depending on severity of intent. So I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? So I kind of go into this thing, and it's prohibited of hedging. And it says that it's a form of system manipulation, not genuine trading. And obviously that's not what I'm doing. So the only thing here that really could have happened, and what I'm thinking is that, all right, so we're getting that move down. We broke the previous low. I would expect this to probably get to this 05 level right down here. But the thing that I'm thinking here, yeah, it's crazy. Can you talk a little bit more about this Discord? Are there analysis? How are you different from all the other? Good question. I'll answer that in a minute, Sonic. So Stone. So basically, yeah, they're saying that I was taking a short and a long at the same time, which the only way that could happen is if I had a bracket in place on M&Q, and then I took an NQ the other way, which it could have happened. I don't honestly play brackets when there's a lot of volatility, especially when I'm copy trading, just because sometimes they just don't pick up, right? The brackets don't remove. Even if I click exit the bracket, it doesn't remove. So I would be very careful down here if you're looking to go short. This is forming a really nice tail here to push up maybe half of this candle. See if we get that. That's only another 5 points, but there's that. Yeah, so that's what they were saying. So what did I need to show them? I mean, I have a couple arguments against it, Stone. So one, why would I ever trade 3 to the downside and 1 to the upside if I truly wanted to hedge? That doesn't make any sense. Like I would do 2 and 2, right? So that obviously, and then, obviously the bracket thing is something I want to talk about. 60 seconds is a long time. You would have known. Well, no, because here's the thing. If you're copy trading, sometimes like on your other accounts that you're copy trading, you don't see, those like just random brackets that were left on the charts, right? I'm only looking at one chart. So when I'm trading, I'll show you. I have to open it. So when I'm trading, I'm only looking at, here, give me a second. Give me 1 second here. All right. So when I'm trading, like I'm only looking at this right here, right? Yeah. So what I told them was, so I did that, right? So I went into here, and I don't know if this is like showing anything. It shouldn't, but there's only 2 accounts that it was on, right? Why is this doing this? So it's 14 and 15, 16, 17, and 18's new. I actually got that one today, but those are fine. It's just this one, 14 and 15. So I went in here and I sent them my performance from yesterday here, right? And I just showed them this. I was like, look, this is for yesterday. This is what I was at. And then I showed them my other one. So for 15, which is the bigger one, right? And I was like, look, this is what happened. It's a whole ordeal. Again, I'm working through it. Here's that move up. Now, be careful here because we could be trying to create a top tail if we want to start to become weak. I'm a little leery because we've already broken the low. So we could try to come back down and then maybe hit this. So just don't jump in too early on a long here. I still think overall we want to go higher, but just note that this is something to think about, right? So that's that. So Sonic, to your question, why would you join the Discord? That's actually a really good question. So let me kind of show you. Okay. I'll pull it up here. See, I think I need to make this smaller. There we go. All right. I have 2 monitors here. All right. So this is the one. So what we talk about here, right? So we talk about a main chat where we just kind of have some stuff. We talk through just different things. This piece of it is really important. So the psychology. So I really kind of post things in here about the psychology of trading. What we're teaching, there's a defined way of doing it. It really works. I talk about really 3 main things. So we talk about structure, and this is kind of the things that I show right down here. So I talk about trade setups. So I'll really give some setups of maybe what we're looking at. Each day I do if strong, if weak, which is the pre-market setups here. So I'll talk about the pre-market setups if you want to be strong and weak. This morning, this channel actually broke to the downside, then went back up out of that. I will, as we continue to grow, I will have sessions just for the Discord to review. I really want to kind of hear other people and like what they're thinking, how their thought process is working with trading, because it's not just about what I know and giving it to you. It's understanding what you're thinking and maybe where you're at in your journey. This is just a journey, right? It takes a long time. If someone asked me how long it would take for you to really understand and really start to make money on this, I would say for you to really get the technical, the psychological, and the risk management down, like all 3 pieces, it takes 18 months to 36 months. I know that sounds insane. Why would it take so long? Because the psychological piece of trading, it's not natural to us. It's something that we have to learn how to see. Like it's like putting on a different type of like glasses, right? There's a different type of glasses that you have to see, or lens that you have to see the market through. So I try to keep this very, very chill. It's not super big at the moment. It's just a couple of us in here. I've known a lot of these guys for a long time, but I promise you, the people that are here, the goal is for them to, I just want serious people, right? If you're serious, really understanding the market, understanding, I don't really want to have a bunch of indicators that I have to rely on. I want to understand the market and how it works. That's what we're going to cover here. So again, these trade analysis, as we grow, maybe we'll add some more channels, but for right now, that's kind of what we're looking at. And this is the area I really want to start to build more of, is share trades, like understanding, like, what are you seeing? What type of trade did you see? How did you see it differently than me? Maybe there's something you could show me that I've never even noticed before, right? That's something I really want to kind of talk through as well. All right, so like here, just bring up trade of 8. Yeah, I could just bring up the trade of 8 entry logs for sure. All right, so let's go back to the charts. We went up through all this stuff. All right, so now we're getting that push back up. Okay, so there it is. You see it. It was a push down, and now we're getting that push back up. So what I would be saying now, based on what we're doing, is I'm going to move this area to around here, because this is our support level now. You can see it was resistance, now it's support, and now we're just breaking out to the upside. So I think at this point, it's safe to say that we're going to be moving back up. We can take the 2-minute. We're going to take this off. And what do we see? So the market's nothing more than just a bunch of cups and different structures, right? All right, we could be coming down here, create a bottom tail, yep, and then push off of that to the upside. So look for this to create, again, what are we doing right now, right? So we came down to the support. We are probably going to find a support area at this 9, push off of that, open up a new candle, create a green candle for a 3-bar play to the upside. Where do I think I'm going to have resistance? That's the next question. Where will there be resistance next time we move up? It's probably going to be right here. Why did I draw that right there? So this is 2-minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 touches at this area. So we have 11 touches right here. Let me get this off the screen because this is kind of annoying. I do wish. So here's a 3-bar play I was just talking about. Great entry off this 9. I would consider this to continue to push up. I would say probably to, around this 67 level, 68. That's 20, over 20 points. That's a good move. If you're taking that with MNQ, that's a good choice. But just understanding why we're doing that is huge. So bouncing up, if we get above this previous high at 50, if we get to 52, this is really, really good. So watch that if we get above 52. All right, we're finding support on the 9 here, which is good too. Let's see what the 15. Yeah, 15 strong. Yeah, we're above the previous on the 15. Ooh, this is a engulfing candle too, to the upside. So engulfing, what does that mean? It's nothing fancy, I promise. All that means is that, where's my There it is. Means that based on the previous candle, which is this is the high and this is the low, the candle that we're on has actually gone lower than this. Okay. And it's gone higher than this. So it's actually engulfed that candle. And what does that signify? It signifies a stronger move in the market on that particular candle. So on this 15-minute time frame, in this 15 minutes, we've had a lower and a higher range, essentially. So when it's green, it's telling me that it's probably going to be, it's a little bit stronger. There are some things around a green engulfing that I do talk about in our Discord. And if it's red, that's telling us some things too. But this is kind of what I'm looking at now. So as we start to see this play out, there you go, like that. All right. I feel like I'm just talking to myself. It's interesting because it shows like there's two people. I'm actually watching it on mine as well. So it says one, but I'm feeling there's more than one person in here. Make sure you like this if it makes sense. If you found this to be helpful, that would be really, really nice. I would really appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, so we're really building right here. This looks strong. Looks really strong to me. Stone, do you add positions when it moves the way but still far from your target, or do you trim? So do I add? You're kind of talking through like Tom Hogarth's book, Biggest Loser. So I got to be very careful when I'm adding positions because I don't really want to take away from my really good entry. So let's just say I get into this play down here, right? I mentioned earlier that we were forming a tail down here, and it's a really good chance for us to at least go halfway. So I could have taken an entry there down here and held on to some of those positions to this point because I'm pretty sure that it was going to get to this trend line. So to answer your question, I don't normally it's a hard question because I do both. I trim and I add. So it just depends on the situation. Like this situation here, if I had, let's just say I took 5 MNQ down here, right? I would probably keep 2 at this point because in my mind, I know like what we're doing right here and that the fact that we really could have potential support right here, this might be a really good place for us to continue. Like I see the move, you know what I mean? Like I actually see where we could potentially go. So I'll just keep 2. I'm going to lock in 3. And then if this is like to a point, if this might have to come down a little bit more first, but if this breaks up and gives me a higher high, like that's actually good. And I might add, so like at this point right here, I might add, let's just say 5 more. And then as I get up here, I might trim off 5 and keep 2 because ultimately I want to get to this point. It's just like how much risk do you accept? That's the question. I have a video coming out around stop losses, and one of the main things I talk through before you even get into that trade is the third point that I have or concept is accepting the risk. If you don't accept the risk that you're in or of the trade that you're going to take, you're gonna become emotional. You're going to make bad decision making. You're going to get out of a play as it pulls back. Oh, I got to get out of this play right here, right here. I can't lose it. But then all it's doing is just creating a bottom candle, right? For them to move up. It's actually a healthy thing that it's moving down. Like, you know what I mean? So I guess just seeing the market as a whole, understanding just the levels, understanding that when we get to these diagonal trend lines, they actually mean something, and I would take off there. But it doesn't mean I have to take off your whole thing. But I do try to keep things simple. I don't really hold like a lot of runners and stuff. I just don't do that. I'll get to a point, let's just say if this pushed up, let's just say we got in at 25, okay? You get in at 25. If I took this up to 50, that's 25 points. So 25 points on 5 MNQ, what is that? $250? So I would take the 250, right, and just call it, knowing that the candles are probably going to come back down. Then I can take another trade. So don't really try to make it too complicated with like a bunch of like runners and I might add positions, but I'm very careful about that because in the past I've done that. It's hurt me because let's say I get in right here and I add to my position up here. That's going to make my break even up here now. So if this comes down, it's going to hurt me more, right? So it really just complicates things a little bit more. Especially if you're new at trading, I would just stick to, taking 2 MNQ or 3 MNQ. Get to your target, call it, right? If you see a stop, take it, get out. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Does that help? All right. Just cleaning up these charts a little bit. Cleaning them up. All right. So at this point, what are we doing? Yep, I see this. I do like this 15 though. You think this is gonna like build to break down? It's really interesting. Looking at this. So levels, again, these levels, they matter. We have 11 minutes left on the 30 minute here. Let's look at the 1 hour. I haven't seen the 1 hour. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. We have an engulfing to the downside on the hour. Dang. I'm going to jump off at 2, guys. Let's see. Yeah, we're right now we are just building liquidity for a bigger move, I believe, is what we're doing. Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're doing. You saw it over here. You can see it right here, right? Building here. This area is probably going to be kind of the area. Let's see, what does this do if I pull it over? Yeah, so we found support here before. This is probably a really good support area that we're at. If we break below this area, when I say area, this box. So if we get down here on the 9 and break down more, probably going to go. So if we go below 25,000, we're going lower, essentially. I'm going to take this off here. Got too many levels on here. Right, I'm going to take this guy off. Okay. All right, this is what we got. This is what we're looking at right here. So support here. If I zoom over, and let's do this. If I take this and just keep moving it, it's amazing. Like what you'll see. Like look at this level that we're at right now. Like this is what's amazing to me. This is what's fascinating. So if I just circle where support has been and resistance has been every time we've been at this area, there is a lot of places. Right? There's a lot. And that's just part of it, right? Here's another one right here. So this is a big area. Why does that matter? Because in my mind, I'm thinking now, okay, probably the next candle, this is on the 30 minute, probably on the next candle, we're going to get a tail. So we might move down a little bit, but we're not, I don't think we're going to go lower than this 25,010. I'll zoom in so you can actually see what I'm talking about. And I'll take off all the pretty yellow circles. But I don't think at this point we're going to get below this level. 2511. Now, I do think we could come down, create a tail, and then create a new candle. And that new candle will, you know, create a tail here. And then let's just say move up here. That's a terrible candle, but you get it, right? Right? And then the next candle will move up here. Something like that. And again, over time, you'll start to see this more. It'll just make sense of like what we're doing. Now, if I look at this on the 2 minute, you're going to say, man, we're just chopping, we're wedging, we're consolidating, we have liquidity, right? All the things. But if you zoom out just a little bit, there's a story behind it, right? There's a story about what we're doing. So that's kind of what we're doing here. What else could we do? We could do this. We could go. Let me find my. This right here. Kind of have like this channel, if you will, like that. I know this is kind of pulling out, but don't worry about that. So my thought is if we break out of this channel to the upside, we're going up. If we break down, so let's think about this. If we do break down, where are we going? I would say probably in this area right here. That's where you're going to go, down here. Again, this isn't rocket science, right? I'm just looking at the charts and I'm saying, okay, this area, we've had trouble. This area, we've had trouble. All in here, we've had trouble getting lower, right? I can't get lower here. Nothing's going down. So I'm just making a note of that on the chart. Because if we get that, look what that does. It creates this structure. And this is a perfect example of understanding the levels, the zones, and understanding how that structure plays out, right? And then looking at the channels with it. So, but do I think that's what we're going to get? I don't know. We'll see. Doesn't matter what I think, right? If I'm going to be honest with you, I think what we're doing is we are building liquidity here like this to then move up. That's what I think we're doing. Because we did it before. We actually did it right here earlier. You see it? And then we just moved up. So I think we'll do the same thing. We'll move up like that. And why do I think that? Because I've seen it 1,000 times before. It does the same thing, right? So those are the things I want to share. All right. So that's that on the 2 minute. Let's zoom out to the 5, the 9. We're fighting back to get above the 9. We're looking good on the 15 minutes. We have a bullish engulfing, meaning that we probably want to get above 50, to be honest. I'm going to jump off in about 5 minutes, guys, but 30 minute, we have 4 minutes. I would think this is probably going to go up. That's just my thought process at the moment. And why do I think that? What am I seeing at the moment? I'm seeing that we're creating higher lows, right? Here's another higher low. And I think the next one's going to be a higher low. If we can break this channel right here, that's another sign, right? If we can get above the previous highs, if I can get above this area, I feel really good about this, okay? We're really we use this area of liquidity to come down to then push off of that, right? All these little things make the trade. It's not just one thing. It's not my feeling. It's what I see That's making the difference. So see what happens. We have 3 minutes left. So this is really a kind of a prime time, the last few minutes of a candle, to make that push. So let's see if we do get enough volume or to kind of get through that. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm looking on the different. Okay. All right, so something else I see here. So this is a W. So here, come down, make this bottom, we push up, we then come back down to make this bottom. If we break out of this, it makes complete sense to create this W, just like that. And that's what we did this morning, actually. So I'd be looking for that right there. And I'm not looking for things to fit my bias. I'm not. I'm looking both ways. If we're going to be weak, we're going to have this right here, push back down. That's what we're going to have. But I can't be thinking that way right now because look, the last 3 candles are up. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Do you limit order in when it breaks up? I always limit order. I never market order. Always. Always limit order. I think I've always got picked up. Maybe like just a handful of times it hasn't picked me up. But you can bet if this breaks, it's going to push up probably pretty quick. I'll be honest. All right. See if we get a move here in a minute. Probably at 2 o'clock we'll get that move. All right. So watch this. I have to leave you guys here. Let's see. Appreciate you guys sticking around on this live stream. I'm gonna try to do a lot more live streams when I can, between meetings and so forth. So look at this right here. Look for this break. This is a good sign, right? These are things that you need to look at. We broke the previous high. That's a good sign. We have higher lows. The question is, can we break this? So we have 45 seconds. I would think we might go down a little bit more and then push up off of that. Look at the. I don't like this. This probably needs to come down some first, just because that wick is way too big. So check that out. Appreciate you guys joining. Again, if you're not part of the Discord, check it out. A lot of good stuff in there. Promise. If you stick around with this stuff, it does work. Several people in our Discord are doing it. So check it out, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks for joining the live stream.